On May 11, 1998, the Tianjin Water Park Exhibition Hall called the police, saying that one of the exhibits had been stolen. The police came to investigate and found that the door had been pried open and a glass jar containing a fetal specimen had been stolen. Speaking of this jar, many people know it. I saw it that year. It was an exhibition room that explained the structure of the human body. There were many plastic human models and many other crafts on display. This jar was placed in a very inconspicuous position. When many students visited that year, they thought there was nothing to see here at first, but suddenly they saw this jar, which was filled with formalin, and an 8-month-old baby corpse specimen was placed in it. Many people complained and were scared, and many students were scared to tears. But the park never took any action. I don't know when this jar was placed here, but now it has been stolen. The case was quickly solved. A week later, a thief named Zhao was caught and confessed that his motive was that someone bought the fetal corpse at a high price. He knew there was one in the water park, so he stole the jar and sold it for 3,000 yuan to a man named Yang Hua who ran an underground casino. So the police immediately went out and found Yang Hua at his home. They searched for a lot of gambling equipment and cash, but Yang Hua was already dead in the bathtub at home. The forensic examination showed that he had been dead for a week and the cause of death was drowning. But the glass jar was not found. Later, all of Yang Hui's accomplices were arrested one after another. The accomplices confessed that they opened an underground casino in a warehouse in Daegang. So the police found the place and got a lot of cash and gambling equipment, but there was no glass jar. During the interrogation, a criminal named Dong Zilong mentioned that Yang Hua was very superstitious. He heard that many casinos in Southeast Asia worshipped dead babies, which was said to bring prosperity to business. The longer the dead baby was, the more effective it was. So he kept asking around to find out where he could find the dead baby. Later, he found it and put it in the basement of the warehouse. Sure enough, the police found the jar there, but the strange thing was that the jar was empty. On June 23rd, the museum called again and said that something incredible had happened. When the police arrived at the scene, they found the baby specimen in the exhibition hall where the theft occurred, right where the jar had been placed. At first, they suspected that someone had returned the specimen when no one was paying attention, but there were no signs of doors or windows being pried open. In short, the exhibition hall staff later put the baby in the jar again, and it has been there ever since.